everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I just came across this absolutely wild story that I think you all need to hear about. It's one of those things that sounds so ridiculous you almost think it's a joke, but no, it's 100% real. Let me break it down for you. Here's what happened. A man in Washington, D.C. got charged with assaulting a federal agent with a sandwich. Yeah, you heard that right, a sandwich. Now I know what you're thinking. What kind of crazy world are we living in? But this is real. And it happened right before a big move by the Trump administration to take over D.C.'s police force and deploy the National Guard and federal agents for patrols. Talk about timing, right? The man in question is Sean C. Dunn, 37. He was accused of throwing a sub-style sandwich at a Customs and Border Protection officer near the corner of 14th and U Streets in Northwest D.C. Now, I mean, this is just so bizarre. Why would someone throw a sandwich at a federal agent? I mean, I guess it's not like it's a weapon or anything, but still, it's a federal agent. You don't mess with them even if it's a sandwich out of nowhere, throwing the sandwich at the officer. Then he runs into the street, and the officer, who didn't seem to be injured, chases him. The video is pretty wild. You can see the confusion, the shock on the officer's face, and then this guy just running away like he's trying to escape a superhero. The Transit Police detective included screenshots of this video in an affidavit. So it's not just some random footage that someone pulled off the internet. It's official evidence. And the kicker is that Dunn actually confessed to the act after being apprehended. He said, "I did it. I threw the sandwich." That's not something you hear every day. You know, people don't just confess to throwing a sandwich at a federal agent. It's like, "I threw the sandwich. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me." And it's being prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office, led by Jeanine Pirro, a Trump appointee who has supported the administration's initiative. Now, that's interesting because this is right before the Trump administration announced it would temporarily take over Washington, D.C.'s police force and deploy National Guard troops and federal agents for patrols. So is this just a coincidence, or is it a statement? I mean, it's not like they're saying, "Hey, look at us, we're taking over the police force, and here's a guy who threw a sandwich at an agent." It's almost like it's a bit of a message, but I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence. I mean, it's not like the administration is responsible for this, but it's just interesting timing. The crime carries a maximum of 1 year in prison, or up to 8 years if it involves physical contact or intent to commit another crime. So the officer wasn't injured, which is good, but the fact that it's a federal agent, even if it's a sandwich, it's still a federal offense. And the maximum sentence is pretty serious. So even though it's a sandwich, the charges are still pretty heavy. I mean, it's not like it's a minor offense. It's assault on a federal agent, which is a federal crime. So even though it's a sandwich, it's still a big deal. I think this is a really interesting case because it's so bizarre, but it's also a reminder of how serious the situation is in Washington, D.C. right now. With the administration taking over the police force and deploying the National Guard and federal agents, this incident just adds another layer to the chaos. It's like, hey, look at us. We're taking over the police force, and here's a guy who just threw a sandwich at an agent. It's like, that's not normal. But again, it's just a coincidence, right? Or is it a statement? I mean, I don't know, but it's definitely a talking point. What do you think? Is this just a random incident, or is it a sign of something bigger? I mean, I know it's a sandwich, but it's still a federal agent. And the fact that the person who threw it was apprehended and confessed, it's just weird. But again, maybe it's not that weird. Maybe people are just more confrontational now. I mean, with the administration taking over the police force, it's just a different environment. People are more aggressive maybe, or maybe it's just one guy who had a bad day. It's still a federal crime. And the fact that it's being prosecuted by the U.S. Attorney's Office, led by Jeanine Pirro, who's a Trump appointee, it's just another example of the administration's initiative. So even though it's a small incident, it's still part of the bigger picture. And I think that's what makes it so interesting. It's not just about the sandwich, it's about the context in which it happened. I'm just curious to see where this goes. Will Sean C. Dunn end up in prison for throwing a sandwich at a federal agent, or will it be a slap on the wrist? I mean, the maximum is 1 year, but it's up to the court. And with Jeanine Pirro on the case, who has supported the administration's initiative, it's possible that the prosecution will be more aggressive, but I don't know, maybe it's just a minor charge. It's hard to say. This is a story that's definitely worth talking about. It's a reminder of how bizarre things can get in Washington, D.C., especially with the administration's move to take over the police force. And it's also a reminder that even the smallest actions can have big consequences. So whether it's a sandwich or a protest, it's all part of the bigger picture. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be back with more crazy stories and updates, so don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and I'll see you in the next video.